Hey friends, happy Thursday. I'm so happy to be here. I'm actually heading to New Orleans this weekend for Jazz Fest. Yay! My favorite place, New Orleans, where I'm from. What are y'all up to? I hope it's something awesome. Today I'm talking about forgiveness, and this is just from my own perspective of working on forgiveness and some cool things I've read about it. Um, So obviously, we've all had people we've needed to forgive, I'm assuming, and some of them may have been from childhood or adulthood. Um, how I feel like when I used to go to therapy, I just remember or like reading stuff before I really understood like divine reality and having had my spiritual experiences, that people would just be like, "You need to forgive," and I'd be like, "I don't even know what that means. Like, what does it mean to forgive?" Because it's really, it is seems so abstract. Like it seems like it's about another person or someone who's hurt you or events that have hurt you, but also it's really about you. The way I'm able to understand forgiveness is, like you don't want to have like any stain on your heart. Um, or like any yucky feelings. So when I'm in unforgiveness, I feel like I'm holding grudges, I'm a little grumpier, and the layers of forgiveness for me are always getting deeper, especially about my initial trauma at 13, because honestly, the more I'm talking about it openly, which I feel like I've been really called to do because I guess I want other people to know they're not alone, or it just has been coming up and I've been following that push to share more openly, but it brings up feelings of like vulnerability to be so like public and open about it. So then I'm reaching deeper layers of forgiveness. Yay. Just kidding. Um, so here's some thoughts about it. So I think ultimately it's just being in a place of when you go back to the event or the person who's hurt you, you're just able to have like peace about it. Doesn't mean they didn't do you wrong, like in the earthly realm, they probably did. But it's just, well, I mean, yes, if, but assuming they definitely did, like if it's someone who's really hurt you. In the earthly realm, I'm not talking about pre-birth planning and stuff like that. I'm talking about us being humans right now. So yeah, those when you think about those events or those people, that you're able to just be kind of detached from it and owning like your own power and your own love and realizing that whatever they did had nothing to do with you. You're like a beautiful sovereign being, completely held in love by God and the creator. And then you just don't get swept into like those old yucky feelings. I think, um, yeah, they really do only hurt us. And I think I've read like resentment is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. It is like, it really is just affecting you. Like, I'm assuming the people that hurt me don't really care. Like, they're not sitting, I mean, in my fantasy world, they've all gone to therapy and done like a great healing job, but I know that's really probably not the case, at least for one person. So, bummer. So anyway, they don't really care. I'm the one that needs to move on, and and I think that's the case for, I'm assuming, all of us. The people who've hurt us are probably moving on. And I know I've hurt people and probably didn't realize it. I did make amends as much as I could, but we just are all living our lives and we're playing roles to certain people. Okay, so here's my thoughts on forgiveness. I have read in conversations with God, forgiveness, understanding replaces forgiveness in the mind of the master. And that is like, and I've read too, like when you meet people in near death experiences or in the next realm, you, you're able to just kind of mind meld and understand like everything that was making them do all of the things that happens in life reviews, like in other times. From I've just read different things about it. So they yeah, like you're able to see like where these people were coming from and why they would do that and what kind of pain they were in. I've read about that multiple times. It's super powerful. Um, so understanding kind of where people are coming from is really important. Um, and also, there's a forgiveness practice that's really beautiful where it's from A Course in Miracles, and it's like where you see light in the person that's hurt you, and you just release them from what they did. Like you see them as their soul self and the role they came here to play. That is like also very powerful. It can be hard if you don't want to forgive someone. You have to be ready to let these resentments go and these feelings go. And if you're not ready, like picturing someone who's hurt you in like a bunch of light might be really hard, but we all do come from God and light and love. And we do contract to like play certain roles in people's lives. Like I'm gonna go deep into my trauma for a minute, like Betty's story was, she saw her childhood traumatize her person, like pre-birth planning and how they came into contract with like the light and total love and like and what that they did this so they could help each other. And he ended up in the life that she's living, like he molested her as a small child. That doesn't seem like a great, beautiful thing, but up in the heavenly realms, it is like, I guess that was what he needed to do. And I going deep into my trauma, as I said I was about to do, like I don't say like this was a great experience in my life. It was a horrible experience in my life. I cried so much. I had horrible nightmares. I went to so much therapy. Obviously, I'm still working on healing parts of it, but I don't think I'd be doing the healing I'd be doing now for other people if I wouldn't have gone through that. So there's a blessing in it. I've found the blessing, and I think that's part of the healing. Um, and that's part of forgiveness is understanding like there was something great that came from this was like my beautiful spiritual experiences with God that like apparently a lot of people want to have experiences like that. And I don't think I would have had these beautiful experiences with God if I wouldn't have had that horrible trauma. So, finding the blessing in it is helpful, um, for forgiveness. And then also, um, in terms of understanding, like, yeah, it's important to just kind of see like people are playing out different roles. And I mean, it does help me to know they'll all have a life review where they see what they did. That's not, I feel like that's a little bit like slightly vengeful, but I mean, I'm like, maybe that would be, I don't know, it kind of makes me feel better knowing that they'll have a life review. One of them already has. So there were four perpetrators, and in my fantasy world, I was like daydreaming that like they all went to therapy like I did. Like I was like, I'm going to therapy. I'm sure they're all going to therapy. That's so great. Like I didn't know any of their names. Like I basically woke up on the floor when I was 13, and there was like all these people around. I didn't know what was happening. There were four people over me. I only knew one of their names, and like it's just a very intense. It was a very bad night. Um, I won't go into any more detail, but like the one person whose name I knew. I found out that he died of a heroin overdose like 8 years ago. And so that kind of like, I found that out last year. And it was kind of like, oh, I guess my fantasy of everyone going to therapy and like being a better person like didn't happen. Um, so that's been like kind of a bummer. Uh, but I do trust that his soul is continuing on the journey and like learning because that doesn't seem like a very happy life that he had. But anyway, so the last thing I'm gonna say, I hope that wasn't too intense, but if anyone else is dealing with sexual assault and forgiveness, I can talk about this a lot more. Um, it's a sensitive topic, but I do truly believe like men and women are holy and beautiful, and like we have to heal these like past horrible patterns that we've been born into. That like I think we can do way better. And I think it's kind of important to shine the light on it. And I'm not alone, and you're not alone. And yeah, and if you were a perpetrator, I mean, this is part of how I was able to forgive was my best friend from middle school ended up becoming a rapist. I feel like it's a little too intense, but like we were both traumatized middle school students. I ended up doing a lot of healing, and he had been molested as a child and didn't do a lot of healing, and then ended up like horribly raping a woman and going to prison for it for 10 years. I did read the police report because I Googled him once when I was wondering how he was, and I was like, oh, well, I did not know that's how he was doing. Um, but we talked since he came out of prison. And I'm, obviously not like condoning rape, but I've known this kid since we were like 12. Like it was a big part of my childhood. Um, and we had a lot of time, like friends time together. But in our mid 20s, like I started healing a bunch, and he just kind of I just stopped hearing from him. Anyway, that's when he committed the horrible crime. And but when he got out of prison, we talked, and he was like, I didn't know how to get intimacy. I was like reaching for something I didn't know how to get. And he was like also living in a place of unhealed trauma. So hurt people hurt people. I'm not condoning any kind of sexual assault, obviously. But it did give me that perspective of understanding because it's someone I deeply care about, and like he did something horrible, and I was able to like at least from his perspective. Obviously, I feel horrible for the woman. That's a huge, huge trauma to go through. And I'm assuming like I'm like thankful that it's my friend that did the therapy, even though he wasn't a perpetrator of mine. It's like at least some people do it. So he actually served time and has gone to a lot of therapy. So it does happen. And I hope everyone's doing okay from that situation. So yeah, understanding. Okay, I hope that wasn't too intense. I might keep that in. I might take that part out. I, it's for anyone else dealing with this kind of thing. And even if you're dealing with other trauma, it's all stuff we have to heal from. So the last part I'm going to share is IANS, the International Association for Near Death Studies, posts like NDEs on their website regularly. And there was a really beautiful part of this woman's NDE where she learned about forgiveness. And here, I'm going to read it to you. It was really beautiful. They posted it on Facebook a couple weeks ago. I felt forgiven for my lack of appreciation toward the gift of life, and I felt the need to forgive everyone else. I had told the Creator I could not forgive others on my own. Those words were presented back to me in auditory knowing. Then I heard Creator tell me that in order for me to receive the forgiveness it was offering me, I first had to allow myself to forgive everyone else. I asked how I was to do that. Creator said, just let go of the debt. I got it. I didn't have to do or give others anything. All I had to do was to stop asking them for repayment. It was that simple. Toss out my "You'd Owe Me" book. Instantaneously, I felt everything balanced for my soul. I felt I had forgiven all and had been instantly forgiven of all. So it's really powerful, that kind of forgiveness. Love to hear your thoughts on it. There's so much more about it. It does still seem pretty abstract to me. There's so much about it, but in the end, it's just your heart being in a loving, peaceful place about anyone who's hurt you, or having, incidents where you were hurt. We've all been there. Um, I went a little deep into the sexual assault stuff today, but this is for everyone. But if you have been sexually assaulted, you can write me. I know there's a lot of shame around it. When it's time to heal, it's time to like be better, or like feel better, and like heal as a society. I think we're ready to do that. I mean, I'm always having hope about it. And anyway, that's my story for the day. Hope that wasn't too intense. That's it. I love y'all. Bye.